All right, so a little bit of a story time here since we're fishing, but from the looks of it, they didn't stock any trout yet. Kind of came on the wrong day, but it's okay, Never let a crisis go to waste, right? So, the beginning of 2024, I got really sick. I got this thing called vestibular neuritis or neuronitis, depending on how you want to say it, I guess. The class.
I totally get it.
Sorry, my AI is trying to get my AI to help me figure out some settings in the camera, but I got really, really sick. 2024 took me out for, geez, like 4 months. I literally had to take a leave of absence from work. That's how bad it was. And I really thought it was the end. I was dizzy almost every single day, like dizzy, dizzy. And maybe dizzy is not the right word. I think what I was I felt like I was rocking back and forth on a boat, almost like if you're doing this sway motion over and over again. And at first, I had an ear infection that I thought was most likely going to go away. You get the flu, you get ear infections, whatever. And I hadn't had an ear infection in years. And I ended up basically uh, getting antibiotics, and I came home and I said, okay, I'm good. I got my antibiotics. I'm going to take them 2, 3 days. I'm going to be perfect. Well, once that swelling came down, one morning I woke up and I was just completely dizzy, like out of my mind dizzy. I had vertigo. And I told my wife, I said, hey, I can't even get up out of bed. I feel like I'm going to puke. I'm so dizzy that getting into the I stumbled getting into the restroom because, I had to go to the restroom early morning, but I stumbled getting into the restroom, and I thought that was very strange. The only time that I had gotten vertigo in the past was when my cholesterol level was a little high, and I started working a lot on my weight. I started working on the type of food that I eat. So I said, man, I wonder if my cholesterol is high. The problem is that the next day after uh, my vertigo went away, I started feeling that rocking motion back and forth. And I told my family, like, this isn't right. Something's not right. So I went to my doctor. My doctor referred me over to a specialist, which was the ENT, the ear, nose, and throat doctor. And the ENT told me, hey, this is a once in a lifetime type of thing. What's happening to you is called vestibular neuritis. Later, I found out some information on this other thing called triple PD, and it feels like you're rocking on a boat back and forth. And I thought, okay, how long does this last? And they told me, we don't know. Uh, for some people, it's a week. For some people, it's a month. For others, it's 4 to 6 months, and we've even seen it up to a year. And my heart dropped. And again, I had to be driven everywhere. So I'm in the car, I'm on my way back home, and I just want to cry because I thought, did I do something wrong to deserve this? Is God punishing me? Is God, like, what's going on, right? My mind was just in between so many thoughts. And this whole time, I'm just rocking back and forth. I can't do nothing on my own. I can't drive. I can barely walk. And I was so afraid. I was like, probably it was my anxiety level had never been so high. My anxiety level literally went through the roof, and I thought, this is it. um, I really started thinking about a lot of the mistakes that I've made, the people that I hurt. And mind you, I mean, I'm a Christian, but I had been out of church for quite some time, and I just thought, you know what, if this is it, if this is the way that I'm going to go out, then I need to start apologizing and telling people, you know, forgive me if I've ever wronged you. So I kind of did that, and most people were like, just relax, it's gonna pass. And I did call work, and I exceeded my sick time, and then I ended up having to call this company that kind of you have to report to, and then I took a leave of absence. Luckily, my job gave me the hours that I needed, but it was almost 4 months. So during this time, I'm just coping. I'm not eating well because I'm so nervous. I don't know what tomorrow holds. Every morning I'm waking up, I'm hoping that like dizziness is gone, but it's not. And then so the dizziness was something that I was starting to get accustomed to. They had loaded me up with like six different medications. There was an antidepressant, there was an and I didn't need an antidepressant, but I did tell them that I didn't feel good mentally. Um, they gave me an anti histamine. They gave me steroids. They thought maybe a quick set of steroids would cause the swelling to come down and maybe reverse the vestibular neuritis. It didn't do anything. They gave me some like nausea medication too because I always felt like puking, and this lasted for 4 months. Um, but after the second week, I started getting these visuals where everyone looked like almost like a cartoon character. M- Uh, think about like a TV that's like heavily pixelated and it's getting distortion. I mean, I'm from the 90s. I was born in the 80s. I'm from the 90s, so we had TVs that, would blur out because we were going off antennas that were on our roofs. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically just like lines that go through the TV or very pixelated to where you can barely see what's on the TV. That's what was happening to my visuals, and those I couldn't really take. And I was in a very dark place, and I just thought to myself like, I can't defend my family right now. If anything were to happen, I can't defend anyone. I'm incapacitated basically. I'm no good, right? And I'm a man, right? And men, we have a certain instinct in us. So I thought I can't do anything. I mean, I can't even hang up Christmas lights. I can't carve a pumpkin. I can't change a diaper. I can't help the kids to school. Like, I'm literally just laying in bed almost every single day, and I would try to get up just for a small amount of time, but I'm sitting there nervous, dizzy, anxiety through the roof, people calling me from work, asking me how I'm feeling. Um, and it was just the scariest thing that I've ever been through. Um, After about a month and a half, closer to 2 months, I'm getting visuals. I'm getting mean headaches. It feels like somebody is like with an ice pick, just picking into my brain. It hurts so bad. I would get like these like electric shocks that would just hit my brain, and it would feel like a lightning hit my brain, and it would hurt so bad to the point where I was literally heavily medicated with ibuprofen, right? And I never took medication. I hated taking medication. I'm the type of guy that if my head hurts, I'll just ride it out because I just don't want anything in my body like that. Unfortunately, around these 4 months, I was taking ibuprofen like it was candy because that's how bad my head was hurting. So, and the like the lightning spike or the lightning strikes, the ice pick, there's a name for that. I just don't remember the name right now. But that happened towards the tail end of it. So they sent me to physical therapy, and the physical therapist said, "Hey, you have this thing called neuroplasticity that can help you regrow your balance, and it's like a like your brain is malleable, so it can relearn patterns." And I looked into like a lot of these fighter pilots for the Navy or the Air Force, and they some of them end up with vestibular issues, and they retrain their brain. They go through therapy, and I said, "Wow, if there is a way, I'm gonna do it." So what I started doing is I started walking every day. And it was crazy because I'd run into people that wouldn't know what's going on with me, and I would try my best to like just say hello and kind of move forward. And but I would walk every day. I would jump on these little bricks that are by my house, and I would try to balance on them, and I would balance back, and it looked like I was a kid in a playground just playing around. But what I was really trying to do is I was really trying to retrain my brain. I bought this rope. It's a string with a lot of balls in it, and you focus on the furthest one to the closer one, to the closer one, and then furthest one, and you're doing these like exercises with your eyes. I would get a pencil and I would just like go side to side, side to side, up and down, and I'm really trying to retrain that, uh, that neuroplasticity in my brain. I'm trying to retrain my brain to recalibrate, because that's part of the dizziness. And I kid you not, some of that stuff really worked. I know that a lot of people don't have a lot of faith in the medical field, or what the what doctors prescribe, but even the physical therapist, for from the ENT, referred to me by the ENT, told me this is very bad. I know people that have had this and they're miserable. There's like Meniere's disease too. They thought that I had Meniere's disease for a little bit, but they're like, no, you don't have that now. I had a lot of ringing in my ear, a lot. I would hear like the craziest noises in my ear, like ee, and then sometimes it would be like really fine ringing, and then sometimes it would be very loud ringing, and then even at night I would hear these big booms, like a sonic boom in the air, like boom. And I was like, I would wake up like, like, hey, did somebody shoot? Did somebody shooting outside? And my wife would be like, relax. There's no noise. There's absolutely no noise. I was like a baby. I was like an infant, retraining myself to walk, retraining myself to fit in with society. I felt so vulnerable, and but I got through it. And I guess I'm making this video because I know that there's people out there that suffer with this, for whatever reason, Um, and I'm here to tell you that there is light at the end of the tunnel. 2024, I was sick from, I do have a timeline, but I also watched a video of a lady. I'll link her stuff down here because she was so instrumental. I mean, she has testimonies that people come on, and they talk about like how it took some time. Oh, here's another thing too. I couldn't see colors. So about a month or two in, I thought I was getting better, and I walked into Barnes and Nobles and all those books, and like just seeing stuff that kind of like comes at you, um, regularly, is like, it doesn't bother you. Or like if I would have walked into like a state fair or something with all the colors, dude, I would have been miserable because your eyes get so sensitive to light, to the point where I was wearing dark sunglasses everywhere I would go. And so there was a lot. And again, I have a timeline. I was gonna go over it if I ever got on her channel, because I didn't pay for her courses, because she has these courses that you can pay for. It's a community that you could talk to one another. And I do think that that actually wouldn't be such a um, bad thing. But basically, here in my notes, it says that from February, um, all the way February, March, April, May. Um, yeah, so maybe around uh, February, late February. I got it like February 27th is when I started feeling it. February, March, April, May, June. Like almost by July, I was almost like good and healed from most of it. But that's when like those spikes in my head started happening. I felt like somebody was just taking an ice pick and just hitting the center of my brain, and it hurt so bad. But I got over that. And then at the end is just the lingering ear ringing, just constant ear ringing, and that hasn't went away. That's still there. From time to time, I do get sick. Um, but not sick like that, but like dizzy. But it's not happening as much, not at all, not even as much as before. So I just thank God that part is over. But I will tell you this, and this is something that I found out, and the vagus nerve. So you have a nerve in your stomach that's connected to your vestibular nerve, and that nerve from the vagus nerve comes up and it runs alongside the vestibular nerve. Doesn't come from your stomach, the vagus nerve does though, but then when it meets up into your cerebral cortex, it's next to your vestibular nerve that controls your equilibrium and all those functions of your EQ, balance functions. And what I found out was that I was eating a lot of acidic foods. I was drinking a ton of coffee. I constantly had those AirPods in my ears. And I think that that's what really caused it. On top of being sick, it was just throwing off my nervous system. If you already have like a high functioning nervous system and you're probably already energetic, you don't need to be drinking coffee. Coffee will ruin that nervous system. It also creates a lot of acid in your stomach. And I do believe that my problems not only came from the ear infection that I got, but it was a perfect storm. It was the ear infection, it was having those AirPods in my ears all the time, but it was also eating poorly. And when I lose weight, I have all this natural energy. I typically don't need energy drinks. I don't need coffee. I love coffee, but I don't need it. Now, when I was heavier, I needed it because I was always sluggish, right? And I was overcompensating with coffee. And I'm not talking about like 1 cup a day. I'm talking about 4 to 5 cups a day, and I was abusing coffee, and I was having my AirPods in every single moment. So now I don't drink coffee, and I don't wear the AirPods anymore. I only wear the wired ones. I don't wear the Bluetooth AirPods. You guys have to be very careful with those. I got an MRI. Thank God everything came back negative. I don't have any brain tumors or anything like that. But I'm just letting you guys know. I know that vestibular issues are not easy. They do take a long time, but there is stuff that exacerbates the symptoms and it makes them worse. So stay away from caffeine if you can. That's just my suggestion. I know that a lot of my problems when I got rid of my gut, I had like a really big gut. It's like a little gut. It was almost like fatty liver in a way. Um, a lot of my problems went away. So you do have to get healthy, and you have to eat right. If you want to still have caffeine in your body, try organic green tea. That's one thing that I moved to. I have to drink teas. I can't drink coffee because the way they make coffee now, it's too strong and it's too acidic, and it has fungus in it too. It's got these fungal, um I don't think they're parasites, but they're just like organic matter, right? Like fungal. I mean, we all have parasites in our stomach, but there are some parasites that can affect, they can affect you in your brain, how you think, how you feel. They can control, they can hijack your central nervous system and make you crave sugar. This is all documented. I don't have all the research here because I'm at a park fishing, but I really wanted to make this video because I do feel like if there's somebody out there suffering from this, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It will pass, but you do have to get right, and you have to get right with your health. So anyway, if I have any other details, I guess I'll just make a part two of this video. But for right now, if you guys want to hear my timeline, I'll be more than happy to go over that. I actually just found it, but I think I've already said enough here um, on this video. So anyway, guys, I love you in Jesus' name, and if you guys have any questions, post them down in the comment section, and that's my vestibular um, testimony. And Christ was a part of the reason why I stayed mentally strong, because I started praying, I started reading my Bible, I started listening to preachings. Even in my sleep, I would leave the radio on with preachings, YouTube, just doing stuff good for my mental health. And now I'm here, and I'm still a believer, and I've been a believer for over 15 years, and I love God more than ever. So Thank you guys, and God bless you guys. And I hope that if you are going through this, I hope that God finds you in time, and that you get good, and that your health comes back stronger than ever. God bless.